Right, what you're looking at is my HPI Nitro Rush. Those of you that are following the series that I've been doing on it will have been watching it slowly come back to life after I acquired it and it wasn't quite running. It'd been sat for a very long time and was in somewhat of a bad state, we'll say. The shell was completely crushed and the engine hadn't been started in many years and therefore was quite low on compression and was quite difficult to turn over. Well, no, it wasn't difficult, it was just quite stiff isn't really the word, but it weren't right. It wasn't smooth anyway. So you've been following the series and I started off by trying to get the electrics to work. I come to the conclusion that the receiver was the problem and the receiver didn't work. So I managed to source myself with the help of eBay. Hold on a minute. It's I don't know why I put those on there. They're always difficult to get through those little holes. I'll have to even make the hole bigger. So I managed to source myself a receiver from the Rush Evo. So it's got the newer type receiver on there. It's still quite old. It's still an old receiver, but it's the newer type and it works very well. So now we've got the receiver sorted out, all the electrics are fine. I've got my old failsafe on here, the one that I usually have on my Rush Evo. I've got plenty of failsafes, I've got them all ready to rock and roll, but for the time being this one will do on here. I couldn't find a good exhaust manifold, because for those of you that will remember, the exhaust manifold that was on it had been repaired at some point, and therefore it was basically a bit that come here and then it was a bit of pipe that come out and then kinked and then went there. It had a big kink in it and I didn't like the kink. It was restricting the flow quite some significant amount and I couldn't find an actual manifold. So what I did manage to come across on the good old eBay yet again was old stock, and it's a Fast Tracks upgrade manifold, and this is quite an upgrade because it's curved. Okay, so the curves are good because the exhausts just come, the gases just come out there and they're gently curved around straight out, rather than the original manifold that it would have come with was a bit of a square, so the gases come out, hit a wall and then went and then hit another wall and then went out. You know, so you want all the curves you can get. You don't want direct walls, you want curves. So in a way it's not 100% genuine, but it is a bit of an upgrade for this old engine. Everything else is genuine on it, or original I should say. The air filter hasn't been upgraded. I may put an upgrade one on it, but I don't intend on using this car. You know, I don't intend on taking it out and, as you lot would say, bashing it. I don't like that term, it sounds very gay, but I wouldn't intend on taking this down the skate park for example. I've got this purely as a working vintage, or what I would call vintage, HPI car. I do need to cut a little slot. The newer ones have a little slot there, these older ones don't, so I need to cut that through there so I don't cut that wire. But yes, there we go. It's all now fully working. It's got a battery pack in there. The suspension is somewhat soggy, does need new oil in there, but I'm not bothered about that, that's perfectly fine for me. And I did also come across the original, well, not the original, but it's an original transmitter that this would have come with back in the day when it was new, and it's in very good condition. Well, I think so anyway. And does it have batteries in it? I can't remember if I put batteries in it. Doesn't feel like it's got batteries in it, it feels a bit light, but there we go. As for the shell, that was really of a state of disrepair. I'm not a shell, you know, when it comes to shells, I'm no good. I mean, I've got shells up here that I will have to do at some point for my other kits, but I'm not a shell, I'm not artistic, I'm no good with this kind of stuff whatsoever. So all I simply done, this was completely ruined, it was all cracked, and when I got it, it was flat. This would be flat on the table. So I simply drilled a few holes and used cable ties to clip it all together. At least now it resembles some kind of shape. You know, it feels so brittle. I think it's because it's old, I'm not entirely sure, but at least now it resembles some kind of shape. And what I want to do, hopefully one day I may come across on eBay or a boot sale or some means or some platform, I may come across an actual full alright shell that's usable. You know, the yellow one, which was, this is the original one that they had back then. The Evos had a red shell. The Rush, just the Rush, had a yellow shell exactly like this. So if I can come across one that's better condition than this, then I'll buy that and I'll have, there we go. The only other thing that I'm not quite sure why, but we seem to have some chrome wheels on the back, and I know these tyres aren't genuine. What it would have had would have been little crosses, all just little crosses everywhere, and the rear ones would have matched the front rims. So if I can come across some genuine, I don't think they make them anymore, they won't make them anymore, but if I can come across some used ones on perhaps eBay, the rims that match the front, these are the right front tyres, that's correct. But if I can find some tyres that have the crosses on, as well as the grey or black, depending on your eyesight, I'd say that was a dark grey, rims as well, I'll get those. And then we really will be pretty much back to genuine spec, original spec. So yeah, apart from the manifold, obviously, that's going to stay on there. So there we go. Now I was going to do go out and test it. I still haven't tested this. I've tested it in the garden briefly. I still haven't been out to a car park or anywhere to test this to make sure it's 100% working, but I went around the garden alright, so I'm pretty sure it is. But I did promise you not a video of that. I still haven't had the chance, but seeing as the series of this was every Saturday, I thought what I would do for today, because I haven't had the chance to go and test it, I thought what I'd do is to just show you a bit of an overview of how it all came out and how it's looking now. And hopefully I've got a bit of time off work, so hopefully I'll be able to get somewhere and give it a bit of a test and do a bit of filming for you lot, so that you can actually see it working, you know. But this for me is absolutely fantastic. I love the older stuff, and I love to see something old sort of come back to life, and I'm really pleased that I've managed to come across this. I'm really pleased I managed to get it going, and you know, everything's perfect now, pretty much, mechanically anyway. So I'm really pleased with that, you lot, really am. Look at that, it's changed colour. Now, this is just giving a little bit of a sort of like an insight of what's to come. This is my Rush Evo. I bought this myself with my own money back when I was very young. I was an early teenager, probably 13, 14 years old. I'd saved up a lot of money. It was £199 in a local model shop, JD Models, which was, I think it was in Rayleigh or somewhere. Same place as I got the Savage 21. Yeah, so basically the plan that I've got for this, the engine for it blew up. Where is the engine for it? Hold on, my mistake, the engine is in it. I forgot I put it back in, so I'll show you that in a second. But the engine, the bottom, the bearing on the bottom end, on the, you know, where it connects to the crank, the flywheel, sorry, it split, it broke off, it went up beside the piston, ruined the liner, ruined the piston, and that's how I left it. I've told you this story before, but there'll be some new people watching that don't know the story. So that I left that 10 or so years ago. Left it. I took it apart. I've lost the heatsink for it. I've lost many parts for the engine because I took it apart back when I was young, very young. I took it apart, found out what the trouble was, and then left it. So I've lost the heatsink, I've lost the bolts, I've lost all that kind of stuff. But that's the only thing that's wrong with this. It was perfectly working until that happened. So what I've done is very difficult to find engines for these, very difficult. They don't make the T15 engine anymore. That's obsolete. You can't get them. They're just not even old stock. I've looked everywhere. I've been looking for a long time. I've managed to find, I'm not going to tell you what engine it is yet until I do the video on it, but I've managed to find an engine that's in stock. Now the trouble was, HPI are in a bit of trouble, and it's difficult to try and find genuine HPI parts. Every model shop, every website seems to be out of stock of most HPI things, especially these engines. Well, any engine I can see, everything's just out of stock, and when you phone them up, they just go, "Oh, we're waiting on stock because you know, our suppliers." Even Model Sport, who are very dominant in the models, they've got everything, but they're out of stock on most engines. But I come across a model shop with an engine that I was looking at that will fit directly into this, no trouble whatsoever. It will bolt straight in, everything will link up, and all I've got to do is transfer the clutch over. It comes with a pull start, it bolts straight in, and then I'll have a fully working car again. I've got a new air filter element up here. I bought a new air filter. It's not the type I wanted. I wanted this same type as what I got on here, but I couldn't find it, so I've got this one ready to go on the new engine. I'll put that up there ready. So when that turns up, you know, there will be a video on this. I'm going to do a break-in video on my methods on how to break it in. I've already done a how I tune my engines video, but I may do another one on this, and I'm going to do a break-in video. But there we go. And you will also note, this is the sort of rims the other one should have. You'll also notice I've got different wheels on my one here, because the ones with the crosses on wore out very, very quickly. You can see these ones are wearing out. You can see where they're sort of worn down. Because these are only two-wheel drive, they only drive on the back, they spin like mad all the time, so they wear your wheels out a lot. But yeah, so that's the plan. There's going to be another Rush build video or series. It probably won't be a series, it would just be a video, because it's not going to be difficult just to bolt an engine in and away we go. But yeah, for those of you that enjoy that kind of thing, there'll be one of those coming up as soon as it arrives. And I ordered that engine today, but today's Friday, and I ordered it in the afternoon, so depends whether they process on Saturday or not. But you know, it'll be coming up, it'll be exciting. But that video will be on Saturday. Hopefully it'll arrive next week, and then the video will come up on it on Saturday morning for you. I'm really, really excited. So thanks for watching, thanks for all your support, thanks for everyone who subscribed, thanks for everyone who wanted to win on the giveaway. Really appreciate every single one of you lot. I've had a haircut, look, see? Managed to get the wife to give it a cut earlier on, see? Yeah, pretty good, eh? Pretty good. Yeah, so thanks a lot everyone, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.